In a split second, an enjoyable and beautiful event can end up in stampede, with tears and cries coming out from the mouths of once joyful participants. It could occur from sporting events to religious events, even to humanitarian events like the food sharing programs, which during December we heard of several food sharing programs that ended up in disaster and stampede. Is stampede a consequence of any crowd gathering, or can it be prevented? Are there things that can be put in place to ensure during planning that the occasion will not end up in stampede? Welcome back to the channel Engineering Sparkle, a channel where we unveil the exciting profession engineering. In this channel, we bring out several real-life problems and we use engineering solutions to solve them. Today, we are going to look at Stampede, and we're going to bring out a lot of engineering solutions to Stampede. We're going to see how engineering design can help in preventing stampede from any crowd gathering event. I remain your host, Engineer Queen Uche Chibo, member Nigeria Society of Engineers and the Publicity Secretary, Nigeria Society of Engineers, Warri Branch. With me here to discuss this issue is Engineer Professor Sonny Emeka Ali, Fellow, Nigeria Society of Engineers, Fellow, Nigeria Institution of Civil Engineers. He is the immediate past Chairman of Nigeria Society of Engineers, Warri Branch. He is also the National Deputy Chairman of the Nigeria Institution of Civil Engineers. You are welcome, sir.
Thank you so much, Engineer Queen. Thank you. I really appreciate you. I want to thank every of our listeners for tuning into this channel, because I believe that by the end of this session, solutions will obviously emerge for us to follow and have reduce stampedes in our society. Thank you.
Now, sir, is it possible that before an event, can we predict the occurrence of stampede?
That's the beauty of engineering, especially civil and structural engineering. Once you refuse to obey the rules of crowd gathering, a lot of which cuts across the field of civil and structural engineering, you are running a risk. The probability of failure is there, depending on the degree that we want to allot to it based on specific cases. When I say the rules or due process of crowd gathering, you know that there are, if they are temporary structures, they need to be designed. If they are permanent structures, they need to be designed. So, depending on where we are and what we are doing, if we will pay the price of having good structures in place, whether temporary or permanent, because human lives are involved when they fail. Because of this, we need to settle down and make sure we do the right thing. Once the right thing is done as per design, as per safety, economic and social implications, all of which revolve around engineering. Once we can do that, then we are sure that there will not be failure. But if by reason of economics, social implications, and all that, we want to cut corners, then we become penny wise and pounds foolish. That brings me to the fact that a developing society like ours, a lot of solutions revolve around engineering. And you neglect them, it is at your own peril. Many of those collapses that we saw by reason, many of those stampedes, how many engineers were involved? Were they consulted? You know, it's a society where due process is actually thrown to the wind. And then people get away with so many things. Probably we are waking up to the reality of the situation now. And I pray that this is the last time that we will ever see this kind of thing in this country. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, we really pray that we never see such thing again. So during the course of your conversation, you were saying that there are some things which were not put in place. Engineers were not consulted. Can you please let us know what are the design factors that we need to know that I need to put in place before such events where crowds will be there? Can you tell us what and what we need to put in place?
Number one, there has to be requisite design of the place. Even if it's temporary structure built with timber, it has to be designed. You have to know the weight that is coming on top of it at that point in time, bearing in mind that it's food we are talking. Most of those cases centered around the distribution of food and all that.
And we also saw sports, cases of sports.
Yes.
During football match.
Yes, you know
stampede also
that in
happened.
this country, one of the things that bring us together, one of the things that make people ease tension without thinking of tribe, where this one come from or the other person come from, is sports. When it is time for sports, we gather together as one. No politicking, no tribalism, no sentimentalism, no, we are one and we are focused on our team winning. If it's not our team, maybe it's a foreign league. That's where you see few divisions. Some are for Chelsea, some are for Liverpool, some are for Man United, and all that, and so on and so forth. But the point I'm making here is that the impact of the load on such structures, whether it's temporary or permanent, has to be put into consideration during design. And this is where civil and structural engineers play a lot of role in.
What about in terms of access way? Because we've seen
Yeah.
most times the people they become agitated and they look for ways to get out of that particular venue.
Thank you. Thank you. Access is a requisite aspect of design. You cannot design an enclosure where people come for activities without considering the access. In every reasonable space where people are gathered for an event, there is a maximum time, usually not, it shouldn't be more than 5 minutes. Everybody has exited, no matter what the crowd is. So the civil engine, structural engineer, actually, of course, the architect, other professionals also come in, they take that into consideration. What's the capacity we have here? Maybe it's 1,000. Are you going to subject 1,000 to only one entry and one exit? Then that is not a design. The design considers, what if there is an emergency? How will people exit this place? And if it is a place on a suspended floor, that's where you see that there are alternate routes. They may not be open in normal conditions, but when there is an emergency, they open such exit routes. And when you enter the venue, they will tell you, in case of an emergency, we have this exit, we have this exit, apart from the normal 2 or 3 open ones that people are seeing. The essence of that is that the crowd gathering have been calculated. The numbers have been tallied, and it's been checked that if we have 5 or 6 exits from this place in case of emergency, then people can exit maximum between 2 to 5 minutes. Everybody is out of the place. The reason for that is that The civil engineer considers things like fire resistance. When you are designing a space, you take cognizance, apart from the loading factors and material involved in that construction, you are checking, okay, what is the fire resistance of this particular element in this design I'm doing? You put it at, say, 1 hour, 1.5 hours, so that before any serious damage could be done to that element of structure, help would have come. Okay, people would have come with water and all the things needed to put off the fire before it has incurred damage. And then you are also looking at the fact that human elements, in case of evacuation, if evacuation has to be within 2 to 5 minutes, you discover that you incur very little damage and losses. But certainly, the structural elements will not be greatly impacted. With little retrofitting, and at little cost, you put the structure back to shape. So talking about the civil engineer is heavily involved, if not at the center of events planning. One, because safety is part of civil engineering. Can you do any construction without safety? Then you know that construction generally is a dangerous thing. A lot of exposures are there. So you must put on your safety guards. Everyone involved in construction, particularly when the structure is being put together, has to be very, very safety conscious. The code of practice, Euro Code 2, BS 8110, even if you go back to code of practice, CP 110, they all take cognizance of safety in making the basic recommendations when designs take place.
Okay, so it is very important that we have enough access. So even if it is a temporary structure, or even maybe a school is being used, you first of all, you assess how many exit access or exit points is there. If it is not enough, there's need to do what, to increase it, so that in case
if you are permitted to do that, you just mentioned the school. If it is not enough, then that facility is not the one to be used.
Okay.
Are you getting me? Because a school may not easily allow you to open more access in their structure. They may just allow you use it as it is, but not to add extra access or extra exits in that place. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
So what it means is that a civil engineer has to be invited. A safety engineer has to be involved. An architect has to be involved. And then people have to, by synergy, what is the capacity of this place? What is it designed for? Madam Program or Mr. Organizing Program, how many people are you expecting? So probably it's a place designed for 500 or 1,000 people, and you are expecting 2,000 people. What do you think, for God's sake, will happen? That is overloading already. And that is against the ethics of design. You cannot design a structure to carry maximum of 1,000 people and you overcrowd it to the extent that 2,000 people are there. You are subjecting the structure to danger. You are already putting the lives of the people in danger. And that's why serious assessment ought to have been made in these cases before the events held. Then regulatory authorities have to be on guard. Professional designers, engineers, architects, town planners, city planners, and then, of course, people in the built environment. Many of them have to be involved. But prominent, when we are talking about loading, it is practically at the table of the engineer and civil structural engineer specifically. So that's where we are. Where you refuse to make this assessment before loading the structure, then you are taking a chance, the result of which may not be palatable. That's what we are seeing. I'm not trying to center my what I'm saying now on any of the cases of Stampede that we saw, but these are the fundamentals I'm giving you. But
Okay.
if you give me a specific incidence, then we could analyze it along that line, and especially when we know the
Scenario,
scenario behind it.
surrounding it. But we are looking at a general issue now. For instance, now during your conversation, you were saying that a lot of professional bodies need to be involved, and you also made mention that the crowds,
Yeah.
they should be made to know where the exit is and where the entrance
yes.
is.
Oh, yes.
So can you please tell us more how to do the communication, because communication is key. Because
Good.
if they don't know, even the bodies that are together, the people that are planning together, they need to communicate very well so that they can be able to be seamless operation. So
Yeah.
what medium of communication? How would there be effortless communication so that everything will go smoothly?
Okay, thank you so much. Good 18 in this country, we already have the Association of Professional Bodies of Nigeria. Presently, 32 professional bodies, including Nigerian Society of Engineers, Nigerian Institute of Architects, Nigerian Institute of Builders, and so on, and Nigerian Institute of Surveyors, Nigerian Institution of Quantity Surveyors, and so on and so forth. They are members of this association. So, a forum to communicate to all professionals. And within this, there are also sub-sections, like built environment is in one group, medical is in another group, management is in another group. So when you want to communicate, this is a very good forum. Already, we have been teaching and preaching synergy. Working together is always better than working
In
individually.
isolation.
It's like a broomstick, one broomstick and a bundle of broom. Bundle of broom is more effective when you use it well. Single broom, you know how far it can go. It can virtually do little or nothing. So that is a forum for us to come together. But when it involves a gathering already, before the gathering, that is why we have what we call safety talk and safety briefs. Is a must in every gathering. You have to tell the people where to ease themselves when they are pressed. You have to tell them what to do when they discover that the place is becoming too hot and ventilation is an issue. You have to tell the people where the entrance is and their exits, including the emergency exits, are when people gather. You have to tell the people the muster point where they gather in case of an emergency. There has to be a gathering point where you instruct the people on what to do from that place after they have escaped. One of the things you see in our scenario in this country, the aviation industry, I like to say that they are the best in society when it comes to safety precaution.
Okay.
Everybody, you must put off your phone. You obey. Nobody wants to take that risk. Everybody's phone is off. When there is an emergency, look under your seat, seat in front of you. You will see an apron that you wear, and you could use it to dive into the water, or you could use it to drop from a flying plane and all that, and so on, and parachute and all that. They put such gadgets. They educate you on every flight
So I'm sitting right here on the emergency exit. There are two emergency exit doors right here. And these seats are only for ABPs, able-bodied persons, preferably doctors, people in the force, policemen, people that are fit and able to take responsibility in the unlikely event that we have an emergency to actually open this door so that we can exit from this door or this door in the case of an unlikely emergency.
So back to my explanations. When the civil engineer is also designing, he looks at the space that one person can conveniently occupy. Not just occupying, but the operational spaces around. So you take cognizance of it before your total designs are run out. But more often than not, we do not obey them. We like overcrowding because the organizers do not want to pay or they do not estimate the crowd properly. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
And that's why one of my propositions is that you cannot organize an event wherein you will not be strict on the numbers
Yeah.
you are expecting. Instead of it being over, let it be below. That's the proper thing. And regulatory authorities must pay credence and cognizance of this. You know, we like to be reactory in nature in this part of the world. We are more reactionary than being proactive. Engineering is a proactive profession. And when you subject the product of engineering works to a blatant misuse of what is required, you pay the price, knowingly or unknowingly.
So the most important thing take home from what you just said now is we stick to our plan.
We stick to it.
No matter what, whatever plan that you've made, you made the provision to suit that plan. You stick to it.
We stick to it.
Even if you've projected for 1,000 persons, and at the end of the day, 1,005 people come in, you stop there. There should be a check.
Yes, there's a check.
There should be a check at the gate.
There's
not
a
a
check.
free flow where anybody can just walk in and
First and
walk
foremost,
out. Because
why will you organize an event where tallies are not given to people? There should be tallies. You make 1,000 tallies because you are expecting 1,000. Once the last tally is given, you cut it off. Sorry, we cannot accommodate you in this event. And the person has to go back. We have to, because we are talking of human lives. That's it.
Which cannot be replaced.
Which cannot. Is irreplaceable when it's gone.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
we after making your plan, we still need. It is very important for us to make the crowd or the people that comes in for the program to know about the plans.
Yes, they should be educated.
Medium? We need to let them know so that the planners should be able to put those communications things in place.
Yes, no, it's just because of the society we are in. Every design, every concept, not necessarily technical concept, but major criteria of a design, facility, this structure should not carry more than 1,000. Those are things boldly written and placed where it is very visible. The customers or the clients, people you have designed for, people you have constructed for, they have to know and they have to abide by it. You don't flagrantly disobey them. You are giving out your facility for an event and you are not bothering the crowd that is going to carry? You are just interested in the money? No, it should not be so. And of course, regulatory agencies. These facilities are in their domain. When the concept came up in the first case, they are lodged in their offices. So the moment there is an event to hold there, you go back to records. You ask the necessary questions. Look, don't forget that this facility should not carry more than 1,000. Checks and balances are always there. And they are boldly written for people to see. And during safety briefs before the event, these are things that are regularly announced and broadcast to the public. Social media is everywhere. Newspapers, both physical newspapers and all that, and so on and so forth, they are becoming more common than they used to be. We can take advantage of them. In Nigerian Society of Engineers, for example, our newsletters, so the interview you are doing now should be widely circulated so that people have knowledge of what should be done. Are you getting me?
Yeah.
Safety must not be put at the back.
So what about the use of signages? Like for instance, the particular venue, to put signage so people will know this is the entrance, this is the
Strategic
exit.
signages is a must. Strategic signages, entrance, exit, emergency exits, and
So, sir, thank you so much for letting us know the necessary things that need to be put in place to avoid stampage.
thank you.
Now, we need to look at the people, at the crowd. What do you think can make them distress to lead to stampage? And what advice will you give to them? So, in case they are in an event or in a crowd and something triggers it, what advice will you give to them so that they will not be involved or they will not start rushing? Because most times it's rushing. When the crowd is rushing, maybe they are agitated, they're trying to get something and they are rushing. That's when stampage happens. So, what can you advise them so that
One word: orderliness. Orderliness. We are a society in a hurry to do everything without minding that the law of orderliness has to be respected. You want to go and get food, must you kill yourself? You want to enter church service. Church service. I think that's where a lot of caution should be observed. You see people rushing. Orderliness. Let's take our turns to do things. We must not rush to get food. Get to parties in Nigeria and just let food be served. Decorum will be thrown to the wind. You see people rushing, crowding where the food is, and it could even cause a lot of pollution problem within that area where food is served because of crowding. So orderliness is key. This mad rush for everything should be reduced. Accepted that relief materials are being shared. If you rush into it, means the other people from the other side will rush to that place. Other people, and then there will be collision. There's going to be a lot of chaos in that place. A temporary confusion will set in. Let us learn to take our turns in doing things. If you have designed for the number of people coming, your plan should center around that design. If you have 1,000, you want to give relief materials, obviously they should not be less than the number you have there. That's it. So if you have 1,000 you are expecting, you should not have less than 1,000 relief materials, so that even where the people are seated comfortably, you could use carts, carts, moving carts inside the hall to distribute the relief materials. People don't need to stand up from their seats to get the relief material. So orderliness on the part of the organizers, orderliness on the part of the crowd is highly required. And of course, proper event planning that includes easy distribution of materials, even at the people's convenience, where they are seated conveniently, even if they are bags of rice. Carts, moving carts,
Yeah, yes.
could carry bags of rice and distribute them orderly. People will get their own. But if it is that people must stand up to queue, even if that is when they even queue politely. Because once you set up the thing in such a way that people will rush, they will certainly rush. Particularly this time that a lot of people are vulnerable, shortages in many of in food items, generally because our farmers mostly are not farming as before because of the bad boys in the forest.
Okay, thank you so much. So you've heard it. We need to change our mindset wherever we are. We should prioritize our safety. We should not rush. Orderliness is key because they say, okay, orderliness is key. So one at a time, whatever is for you will definitely get to you. Okay, so thank you very much. I want everybody to stay safe. Don't get involved in any negative situation because we don't want that from you. Try to follow your plans, whatever plan you've made, stick to it, follow things safely, and at the end of the day, we are all going to be happy and be alive to enjoy the fruit of our labor. In case you're just seeing us, we would like you to subscribe to our channel because this channel we are going to be giving several information, several things that we solutions to problems which will benefit you. So click on the like button, subscribe to the channel so that you continue to see us. Thank you very much and bye.
God bless you. Thank you.